Hello, fifth graders. We have another great science week here, and our big science idea is variables. Variables are anything that can get changed in a science experiment. We have already done two big variable labs. Our first one was called the gummy bears, and we use this question a lot about gummy bears. Do you remember what we tested on them? That's right, it got really big in water overnight. So one thing we tested is how does water was a variable for our gummy bears, affect gummy bears. Another thing we tested was vinegar, and my basement was stinky. How does vinegar affect gummy bears? We tested salt. We tested sugar. We tested mouthwash, and again, I had a stinky basement. And the big science question was, how does water, vinegar, salt, sugar, mouthwash affect gummy bears? All of these things, water, vinegar, salt, sugar, and mouthwash, were the variables we tested in our science experiment. Scientists do this. They test out lots of different ideas, and when they do that, they needed a word for all the ideas they're testing out. So scientists came up with this word, variables. They are the things a scientist tests out. Now, we did not only do the gummy bear lab, so let's look at our apple lab. Let me get my eraser. For our apple lab, we were testing what happened to apples that sat out. Did they turn brown? Did they stay white on the inside? And we were testing how does the variable affect apples? And really, we tested the apple color, or how brown the apple was. We called it apple browning a lot, or apple color. Fix that question mark. And we tested many variables. Every idea we tested was a variable. And again, scientists just test so many things, they needed a word for all the things they test. So we tested my freezer. I had an apple in my freezer, or cold, right? We tested heat. We tested sugar. You asked me to put an apple in coffee, and then you talked me into tasting the coffee apple, and coffee was a variable. And I like my coffee, but coffee apple was not good. But coffee was a variable. And all of these things we tested were the variables for our apple color experiment. So how does a freezer, heat, sugar, coffee affect apple color? These things here are all of the variables in our experiment. Well, we have a new experiment this week. A whole week, we have one new topic. For your new topic this week, I created baggies for you at the material handout, and you will have everything you need in this bag to do a science variables experiment. The extra things you might need, you're going to need a pair of scissors or something to cut string. You might need extra tape. I gave you some sticker labels. You can use as tape, but you might need extra. And I gave every student 1 penny. It would be nice to have an extra penny. If I had had enough, I would have given every student 2 pennies. So if you have an extra penny, that might come in handy. I even have a meter stick, paper meter stick for you to measure with. So everything you need this week, we are testing many, many variables. I don't know the variables we are testing yet. I'm going to ask you for ideas this week because I need many, many ideas from you so I can know how does affect pendulums. And pendulums are our material so we can study variables. By the end of this week, I hope many of you have a big understanding of variables. That is our big idea. All of the things that can change a science experiment.